Hi-Rez is making some major changes to crowd control in Smite 2, and this could either be the best or worst idea they've ever had. The community is divided, with a lot of players saying that it's a good change, while others think it's terrible. In this video, I'm going to break down everything you need to know about CC buffering. They announced this mechanic earlier this week, and just yesterday they've already made some significant adjustments. First, we're going to take a look at their plans for this new system. Then I'll show you some example footage to help you better understand how it actually works. And finally, I'm going to give you my thoughts and address a few concerns that I have. Alright, so let's get into it. What is CC buffering? CC buffering is a new feature that allows you to queue up and follow through with an ability, even if you are hit with a crowd control at the beginning of your animation. Here's how it works. If you input an ability and are CC'd during the Prefire stage, your ability will still go off as intended. Your character will finish casting the spell instead of being interrupted. Do note that you will still be CC'd during the animation, so if you get stunned, you will still be unable to move or turn your camera. Currently, leaps can also be buffered. So if you were hit with a CC during the Prefire stage of your leap, you'll still leap and land at your target location. However, you will remain CC'd upon landing if the CC duration hasn't expired. They have said that there are going to be some abilities which are exceptions to this new rule. For example, Fenrir's ultimate cannot be buffered at all. Additionally, channeled abilities such as Fenrir's third skill will behave as they always have and can still be interrupted. Dashes are also not bufferable and will still be stopped by CC. If you're wondering what I mean when I say pre-fire, I'll let the devs explain it for me.
A pre-fire is when you fire an ability, everything that you do before the projectile or whatever it is actually leaves your hand. So for a quick one, like on her 2, it's that real quick reach back, and then until he gets to here, and then he releases, and then you're in fire stage, right? And then for an ability like that, you're quickly into post-fire. That fire, you're on a fire frame for that ability, I think, and then you're into the post-fire. For something like Dan's AO2 that we used a lot of as an example, it's the whole motion of him pulling out the bottle, pulling the cork, taking the drink, reaching back and getting to here, and then he hits fire stage and it leaves his hand, right? So anything that prevents you from taking another action before an ability is fired is your pre-fire stage. So all of that should get bufferable into the vast majority of CCs.
All of this can be kind of confusing, so let's take a look at some examples. In this clip, you can see Danza starts casting his 2 right before he gets stunned by the Bacchus. Instead of his ability getting interrupted, he is able to finish casting it, but keep in mind that he is still stunned. He cannot move or rotate his camera. The next clip shows the same principle, but with a knockup. Danza sees the flop coming, so he is able to cast his 2 before being hit, which allows him to finish throwing his 2 even though he is up in the air. Here's another knockup example. You can see that the Ra has started casting his 3 before Bacchus actually lands on him, so Ra's heal is still placed on the ground. Now I want to show you what it looks like for leaps. You can see that because Anhur jumped right before Athena taunted him, he still jumps to his target location. Notice that Anhur's camera is forced to face the Athena throughout the whole jump, and because the CC duration is long enough, he is actually still taunted when he lands. I do want to note that as of yesterday, they have already made some key changes to the system. Firstly, silences can now interrupt pre-fires, which means you are unable to buffer a silence. They also made it so Ares ult now cripples, which is very important because prior to this buff, you could leap to immune the pull entirely. As someone who's played Smite for over 4,000 hours across 10 years, I'm cautiously optimistic about this change. We're really just going to have to wait and see how they fine-tune this idea over time, and hopefully it will be a good change for the game. I do have a few concerns though. When you change core mechanics that have been around for over a decade, that's something that can really shake up the game and in some cases cause a big upset in the player base. I'm also not sure how to feel about leaps being able to CC buffer. On one hand, it's going to feel really bad when you hit your stun or whatever on someone and they still get to escape. On the other hand, it's going to be really hard to pull this off intentionally, which could create some more outplay potential, but also might lead to situations where they accidentally get lucky, which would be really frustrating. I do think overall that this will increase the skill cap at the top level, which is a good thing in my opinion. It's also going to change up a lot of matchups and make combat feel fresh in many cases, and this system will probably be better for new and average players. I know some of my friends have quit Smite because it's just so CC heavy, and this kind of creates counterplay to that problem. One thing's for sure, Hi-Rez will really have their work cut out for them, figuring out all the complex interactions between gods as they continue to update the game and release more characters. And that's it. If you want to learn more about some of the big changes happening in Smite 2, go check out this video.